That's our music right there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Punchlines. I'm Frank Nicotero, longtime comedian, lifelong sports fan. TM that. That's my hook line, Ryan. Welcome to the lovely South Point Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada, United States, planet Earth, Milky Way. That's as far as I can go. Another big show for you guys. This is great. Today on the show, he's a local 1995 AL Rookie of the Year. Marty Cordova will be here. We've already been chatting with him off show. He's amazing. He's got some great stories for you guys. But I'm going to bring in the co-host of the show, ladies and gentlemen, completing his third day. I'm calling for the lefty, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Calling from the pen, the lefty. Two-time world champion Denny Neagle is here. Denny, there. Can you? What? This is your third day. Give us 3 in a row. It's the trend. Ryan nods and laughs every time we do it. That's our producer, Ryan McCormick.
I don't recognize him without the mustache.
Yeah, nothing today. I shaved him.
We were talking about this last night. So if you watched yesterday's show, thank you if you did. It was Halloween, and we had some fun. Ryan, I just would look over at the beginning of the show. You put a red nose on. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then I look over again. He has a mustache. Then he has a longer one. Then he had a dinosaur nose.
Yep.
Or whatever it was. That was fun.
Halloween. Had to have a fun day.
You did. And it was Halloween, and it was a great show. Greg Vaughn was great. He was hysterical.
The best.
He was so funny. By the way, congratulations to Greg Vaughn. First guy to drop the F-bomb on the show. So there you go, Greg. Congratulations, Greg. You will be
Marty, you got your work cut out for you.
I think the over-under is 1.5 for Greg Vaughn. But yeah, Greg Vaughn was great. So Greg, thank you. And we got our 500th subscriber yesterday.
Up to 509.
Oh my God. Did Greg Vaughn?
I think he mentioned a free bottle of wine, and
it's true. Yeah,
Shout
and Greg
out
will
10.
he will come through. By the way, that's how great Greg Vaughn is. He was so concerned. He's like, well, I got to get you guys that bottle of wine somehow because I'll just run it up. I live 10 minutes away, so we'll figure out scientifically. Ryan, you can hack in and.
Yeah, I think we were looking at it. It's MikeZilla667. I think that's the @.
Who? Mike Zilla 667.
I think.
Mike Zilla, you might be on this show. Contractually, if there's a verbal contract, I said whoever it is will be on the show. So
you ready, Mike?
I don't know. We don't know who Mike is. Maybe it's not a friend of mine, I don't think. I don't know that handle. I'm just glad you didn't say Mike Zilla 666. I was like, oh, God, right?
I was a little worried about that one.
Like, oh, this could be a really bad idea.
Yep.
Today's date is November 1st, 2020. Oh, no. Is it November 1st? Oh, no, it's happening.
It's time.
Oh, no, it's happening. Denny, it's November 1st. No, it's too soon. It's too soon. No! Oh, no, Denny! Oh, no. Do you know what time it is, Denny?
I do not, and I'm afraid.
It's the thawing of Mariah Carey, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no.
Here we go. Oh, God. She released this video this morning. She hits a high note. And you know what we're in for the next 2 months, Denny.
Oh, God.
Christmas, there is just one thing I know.
And I.
Ryan. Yep, it's Mariah Carey's time.
Although I do have to admit, Love Actually is one of my favorite holiday movies.
Are you kidding? When the little kid sings it and he's drumming, and then at the airport.
Classic. And
the whole montage. I'm going to cry right now thinking of Love Actually. I saw it in the theater. I don't even think it was released around Christmas time.
I don't think it was.
And I thought it was a great movie, and no one really saw it. And then it hit TV. And
it just exploded. I mean, when you look at the cast that was in that movie, it's incredible.
And Liam Neeson, you're just waiting for him to beat the shit out of somebody, but he never does. You're like, Liam, they took your wife, something. You know, he doesn't do it. But it is a great movie.
Unbelievable.
But it is Mariah Carey's time of year, and once again, sorry to everyone who works in the retail business for the next 2 months that have to hear that in the store. If you've ever been next time you're Christmas shopping or whatever, it's Christmas. And that song comes on and you're in the Gap or Old Navy or Banana Republic or anything. Macy's. Just look at the employees and just see the horror on their face like, oh, God, no.
Like, who even goes to the malls anymore? That's what Amazon is for.
This is true, right? Well, we're sponsored by the local mall, Denny. So
I'm sorry. The malls are a great place to go.
We have no sponsors on the show. If you'd like to sponsor the show, give us a call. Mike Zilla, 667. He's going to be on the show. So you know that's going to be good. All I Want for Christmas. Do you know how much money she makes a year around Christmas time? There's a figure that I Googled it. Ryan, did you look? You know the number, right? Or do you not? Okay. How much do you think she makes?
Just for that song playing at Christmas time?
Yeah.
I'm going to go $2 million.
What? Marty's going higher.
Way over.
He's correct. $3 million is what I read. $3 million just for that song. And by the way, it's a great song. It came out in 1994.
It's incredible.
She wrote it. That's where you get the money. She wrote it when she was like 22 years old. She was really young. And so she makes $3 million off of that.
So she was about your dating age then.
Back in the day. Denny, my God. Oh, Jesus. By the way, we had dinner last night. We had a great dinner last night. And thank Chris Andrews from the Sportsbook. Chris, who runs the Sportsbook, took us to dinner. And by the way, I think we have footage. Do we have footage of what happened when the check came and Denny Neagle? This is what happened when the check came last night. There's Denny. If the ball was the check, he couldn't. Oh, where's my wallet? I can't find it. There. Wait, is that the check? Oh, whoop, whoop. Yeah, there you go. Denny, what the hell was that play right there? Do you remember that?
I'm going to take the fifth on that one. I do remember that one.
Was it a bunt?
I think it was a comebacker that hit me first, and then I kind of lost my way trying to find the ball.
By the way,
excusable.
I want to put a disclaimer. What was that, right?
I said excusable.
Excuse me. I want to put a disclaimer on that. Denny's like the most generous guy when you go out. He always takes care of us.
I was going to say, we better correct that.
Yeah, we do. No, that's why I had a stipulation right here. That is purely for humor's sake. Yeah, we had a good time, though. And, yeah, thank you, Chris, and everybody. We're going to skip that. We're going to get to that when we get Marty here. Oh, yeah, we're talking about the World Series real quick. The Rangers last night, unbelievable. I know you were in the sportsbook waiting for me to come down. So we had a booth again reserved for us, and it said, reserved for Denny Neagle. My name nowhere to be found. Chris Andrews said, you win 20 games in the big leagues, you get your name on the placard. I didn't get it. So it's like 6:30. I was out running around doing something. At 6:30, Denny goes, are you coming down to watch the game? The game has been on for 90 minutes.
This is 5 o'clock. I'm sitting there, Ryan, and I'm like, hey, Frank, are you going to meet me down here before dinner or what? Oh, dude, I'm not even at the hotel. I'm like, okay, well, that would have been nice information to know.
I'm sorry, but what a nice guy. He waited 90 minutes before he called me out. Like, where are you?
Sounds like the Sports by the Book guest appearance you were supposed to have.
You know what? Okay. So Monday, Sports by the Book is our other show. Make sure you guys stay tuned today. It's on at 3 o'clock right here on YouTube. Subscribe,
Tomorrow.
like, follow
Tomorrow.
both of our shows.
Not today, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You'd think I'd have that scheduled
Close
down.
enough.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays are their days off. I do a 3:40 appearance on Mondays. Talk Monday Night Football. Have fun with the guys. Right? Is it 3:40? What happened?
2:40.
2:40. No, it's
3:40 is on. Okay,
no,
yeah, I'm sorry.
I was right, Ryan.
I'm
Shut
sorry.
up.
I'm sorry.
It happens once in a while, Ryan. He's right once in a while.
I'm right once in a while, just because you beat me on 3 bets. So I'm upstairs, and I look at the clock. I go, and I run downstairs because I'm like, oh, my God, I'm late. I totally missed it. I come running in the studio. They're not here because the show was only an hour that day. These guys are laughing hysterically. They're like, don't worry, we all forgot you were supposed to be. So I was like, whew, yeah. But I came running in like panic-stricken because I'm like, no, I missed my shot. But it was okay. It was fine. The reason I bring up the World Series is it's now Rangers 3. Well, because it's the World Series, and that's why we're here. 3-1. Rangers are now leading. Ryan is more happy than anybody because Ryan has a futures bet on the Rangers. Your futures bet is 1 game away from paying off. But do you still want to be tight-lipped at what the bet is, or do you want to give us
I'll tell you the odds.
Yeah, tell us the odds.
So it's 13-1.
13-1 that they win the series, and you placed this at the trade deadline.
Before the trade deadline.
Before the trade deadline.
Nice. That's what I was going to ask. When did you place it?
Yep.
Nice.
That's a nice
That's
payoff.
going to be a nice
possibly.
payoff.
Denny, looking at Ryan, what do you think the estimate of his bet was on that? You did it here at where did you do it? Online or?
I did it on my Stations Casinos app.
Stations Casino. We love Stations Casino. Okay.
Stations Casino.
What do you think? Taking a look at Ryan. By the way, he was wearing a very expensive North Face jacket today.
Not a very big payroll.
He's always decked out.
I'm going to say you did a $100 bet on that.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Marty's going under.
Marty's doing card sharks over there. Higher, lower. It is lower. Do you want to?
It is lower.
It is lower than that. Okay.
$50.
Okay. Well, there you go. So that's $650. Right?
It'll be 700. Yeah.
$700.
Win 650.
Did you use the new math on that?
I'm pretty good at numbers.
That was quick.
I know you were number 15. That's what I know. I know Denny. Every time, since I've played roulette here in Vegas, the first time I used to come to Vegas, I always play 15 for you and 10 for Cordell. And when I play the Powerball, I always make the Powerball number 15 because of you.
Have you ever hit?
I haven't hit for shit, but I just want to thank you for giving me the number 15 and Cordell Stewart for wearing number 10. All right, let's get into Frank's Fast Takes. And I'm very excited about this because we have a new graphic and roll the beautiful bean footage. This is pretty cool. Look at that, Denny.
Wow.
Yeah, you make 18 shows, you get that. This is our 18th show, by the way.
So we've reached the legal dating age for you.
Our show is the legal dating age. That's maybe why Mike Zilla 667, he might get a chance to date the show. And you're old enough to vote now, too.
Oh, wow.
I was going to go with
serve in the military.
Yeah, I was going to go with old enough to vote. Denny Neagle, right to the legal dating age. There you go. All right.
For you.
For me, right. But it's 18. It's our 18th show, so we appreciate everybody watching. And we've been talking a lot about money. Ryan could be a hundredaire. He could be worth hundreds of dollars. A hundredaire. Well, the reason I bring this up is there's a new billionaire in the world that's an athlete. Now, I don't know if you saw this, so it's going to be a quiz. It's a Denny Neagle quiz time. And we'll let Marty play it, too, if he wants to. So 3 athletes have become billionaires. Can you name the 3 athletes that are billionaires?
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods is one.
I believe LeBron crossed that.
LeBron James and the guy we were talking about who's not a great tipper, apparently.
And MJ.
MJ, Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, who is a billionaire, and maybe the reason is because he's not a big
Because he holds on to that money,
I
apparently.
did not know. Right before the show, Denny was telling us that Michael Jordan, it's known that he's kind of...
I can only go off what I've heard. I haven't seen it personally, but yeah, there's a lot of rumors out there. I know Charles Barkley even gave him crap about it when they were on Oprah years ago even, too.
It's one thing Denny just admitted on the show. He loves Oprah. He's a big Oprah fan.
Absolutely.
If he was a big tipper, he wouldn't be worth $2.2 billion.
There you go. Right.
So,
this is stuff for you to learn as you build your empire, Ryan.
Yeah.
With your Rangers futures bet, when you become a billionaire, you should probably tip because you don't want that getting.
So are you saying, though, LeBron just became the next one?
No,
or they were already the 3? Okay.
And I have a multiple choice for you, I believe, right? Do we have multiple choice? Do we have a graphic? Or
we don't have a graphic for it.
We don't have a graphic. We'll just read it. All right. Here are your multiple choice. Who was just yesterday crowned the next billionaire? Is it Lionel or Lionel Messi?
Lionel
Messi, Shaquille O'Neal, or Magic Johnson? Who became the latest billionaire in the sports world? Only the 4th athlete ever. Denny Neagle did not make the list.
Man, that's a tough one because
What's your thinking process out loud here? I'm wondering.
Well, because, it's just like F1, the European soccer players, between Messi and
that other guy.
The other guy.
Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of money that's in F1 and soccer worldwide and stuff, whatever. And I know Messi got that crazy deal also, too. Kind of like what Beckham did when he came over to play in the States.
Thing, right?
Yes. He got like back-end deals and everything, too. But I'm not sure that kicked in already.
Okay.
So
it's an hour show.
So I'm going to go.
He's thinking out loud. He's showing his math.
I'm going to go with Shaq.
So he thought about 2. He never mentioned the name Magic Johnson. And the correct answer, Marty, do you have a guess? No. He's saying not Messi, not...
Magic.
Marty Cordova is correct. It's Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson is now worth over $1 billion. Now, he only made 13 years he played with the Lakers. He only made $40 million. Only $40 million, which adjusted for inflation is $110 million. But, of course, Magic... he's part owner of a minority stake in your Washington Commanders.
Yes, that's right.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I know he's part owner of the Dodgers.
Yeah, I was going to say, because of his ownership deals, and he's been a pretty incredible businessman himself, too.
Yep.
That's why I went with Shaq, because I know for a fact that, Shaq, everything he endorses, when they ask him to endorse a product, I'm sure you know.
He takes a cut.
Yeah,
right?
he's like, no, don't pay me X amount up front. I'm going to take a cut, the percentage, the stock and options and stuff, because he knows anything he endorses is going to blow up anyway.
General car insurance, all of a sudden, it was like, why is Shaq on a General? Because General was always the one that was on like at 1 p.m. in the afternoon when you're watching TV. Yeah.
So Messi's contract with Inter Miami, $150 million for 2 years.
Right.
So his net worth is $600 million.
Oh,
and then Shaq's net worth is $400.
Oh, wow.
See, I would have thought Shaq is more.
Yeah, I would have thought that was more.
He has like 400 Popeyes and In-N-Outs and Chick-fil-A's.
Yeah,
he's a genius.
He's got everything. Yeah.
But it's
But
magic.
you watch so too, and you give Messi probably another 5 to 10 years, and he'll be there. Yeah,
he'll hit there. But Johnson also Equitrust. He's got all this. And by the way, he's done great stuff for the community by investing in local black areas with movie theaters and Starbucks. That's where he made a lot of his money. He's a great guy. And as I told you, when I went to a private Prince show here in Vegas 20 years ago, right before Prince comes out, a giant man comes and stands right in front of me to block my view. I'm like, oh, come on, bro. Oh, it was Magic Johnson. It was Magic. And then Magic realized it was him. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he made a gap like this, him and his buddy, and then I could see Prince because Prince is only this
Come on,
big.
he put you on his shoulders.
Thanks, Magic. And Magic Johnson, he didn't make his money on a talk show, I'll tell you that much. Do you remember the Magic Hour? Do we have a clip of the Magic Hour? People don't remember this. I told my friend, I go, Magic Johnson had his own late night talk show.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, he's going for he's dunking a donut.
2 of them.
So he came out. See, that was pre-taped. They probably did a lot of takes of that. He would come out. He had Sheila E. in the band, and he would do interviews, and he would just go, oh, no, man. It was awesome.
Who do you think was worse, him or Ken Griffey Jr.'s wife in that commercial?
Oh. The Geico commercial, or is it Geico or Progressive? Ken Griffey's wife is not a good actress. I mean, she looks like a beautiful lady, But,
very nice, yeah. But
hey, what do you mean? This is a nice shirt. She's not a good actress. We've talked. I feel bad, but
yeah, I don't think she's going to win an Academy for that one.
She is not going to win. All right.
Geico.
Are we going to do the Halloween? Should we bring Marty Cordova in, or are we going to do? Let's bring Marty in because we're having fun here.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring him in right now. He's from Vegas, old friend of Denny Neagle's. He is the 1995 Rookie of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Marty Cordova. Marty is here. I know. Let's just bring him in because we're having so much fun. And he's been right on. He was higher and lower. He's been doing it.
Making me look bad.
Vegas guy.
What's that?
I said the Vegas guy.
The Vegas guy. You're a local guy.
Yeah, and also Perry Rogers is his manager, and he's a very good friend of mine from high school, so I know a lot more about Shaq than you guys would.
Remember I was saying that?
Yes.
Dude, I just saw an interview not that long ago with that your boy Dana White did, because Dana White you graduated with as well, right?
Yeah.
Wow. But just from your graduating class alone, you, 95 AL Rookie of the Year, Dana White, and then was it Perry Rogers?
Perry, but also Lorenzo Fertitta, who owns Station Casinos that you spoke of.
There you go. And he's going to be taking money from your friend.
Yeah.
Ryan,
well,
good.
His friend pays my dad.
It's crazy enough that all those guys just went to the same high school, but that's from the same graduating class.
Yeah. Lorenzo and I played Pop Warner football together when we were 10. And then I knew Dana at freshman year of high school. And then Lorenzo and I played football, obviously, in high school. We were state runner-up. Don't want to get into that loss of that state game, which bothers both of us.
Now,
wait, who'd you lose to?
We lost to Worcester. It's arena.
Oh, okay.
Now, were you at Bishop Gorman? No, not
yeah,
Bishop Gorman. Okay.
Yeah, the old Bishop Gorman on Maryland Parkway. That we didn't even have a football
Downtown.
field. We didn't have a baseball field. We used UNLV's football stadium, and then we used Hadland Park, which was terrible. It didn't even have a home run fence. So if you hit a ground ball hard, it was a home run.
It was like playing wiffle ball or Little League if you just hit it far enough. Marty, so Shaquille O'Neal is. So have you ever met Shaq? I mean,
yeah, I've met him a couple times. He wouldn't remember me, but I've met him a couple of times.
Shaquille O'Neal, he's hysterical. I love Shaq. Have you ever heard the story where Shaquille O'Neal claims that Stevie Wonder can see?
I have not seen that one.
If you can pull it up, Ryan, it's on YouTube. He was on TNT show with Ernie Johnson, and Kenny Smith is like, tell the Stevie Wonder story. Shaq tells the story about living in the building with Stevie Wonder. And how we'll get to it. If you find it, let me know, because it's only about 20 or 30 seconds. You have to hear this story because there's like these conspiracy theories. Stevie was on stage with Paul McCartney in front of Barack Obama doing like a performance for Barack, and McCartney knocks a mic stand over, and Stevie Wonder goes like this, like that. So I don't know. I mean, I believe he's definitely has. Some
Dude, when I was with the Braves in '98 in spring training, I don't know how Klesko knows everybody. Ryan Klesko somehow his people knew Shaq's people, so. Shaq still had his place in like Bay Hill in Orlando. So we were there for spring training the first year at Disney World Sports Complex. So Ryan rented out Shaq's house that spring. So we were always over there hanging out. Dude, my dad came down with his buddies and stuff, man. So Shaq's got that S Superman, bed cover and stuff, whatever. And it's the most massive bed I've ever seen in my life. I remember my dad gets on there. Hell yeah. Laying in Shaq's bed and stuff. He had like a 22-car garage. I mean, the place was just sick.
Oh, my God. But... that's amazing that all that talent, all those people in one high school. And were you better at football or baseball? I mean, obviously you went with baseball as a good move, but were you a good football player?
I was probably better at football because our baseball team was terrible. And sports in Vegas at that time was very not like it is today, where Gorman's number one in basketball, football, and baseball. They're amazing.
Everything.
And our football team was what everybody went to Gorman for.
Wow.
We were known for football. So, I was a receiver for football, and then I had scholarships to maybe like Washington, Oregon, some of those schools.
Well, some Pac-12 schools.
But I knew that there's a good chance that I might not walk out of the college, because it's such more of a contact sport.
Yeah.
And I knew I had maybe more of a future in baseball. So, but even then, I really didn't think I was going to be a major league baseball player. I wanted to go to school. I really didn't even want to be a baseball player.
Really?
Like, if I do, great. If I don't, with the way I signed is a funny story. Larry Corrigan, who he knows. He had me on the phone. I was going to Cape Cod the next day, and once you go to Cape Cod, you're not eligible for the draft that year anymore. I was at like 12 o'clock at night. My flight was at 6 in the morning. I'm like, look, I got to go. I don't want to play baseball for the Twins. I'll never make it to the major league.
Jeez.
I want to go to school. I want to go to SC. I want to be a doctor. I want to do sports medicine and help athletes, but I'm not going to be a baseball player. And he's like, come on, you could do this. And I'm like, I can't. I don't want to do it. And he said, what if we gave you $40,000 a year for a scholarship to USC, and then if you quit after a year, you can always go back to school. And now I'm like, oh, damn, he took my excuse away from me. So I literally signed like, all right, whatever, I'll do it.
That's incredible.
That's great.
I didn't really want to do it. I had real long hair, and I was more into partying and girls. And
I remember the long hair, Marty.
Yeah.
No way. That's incredible. Denny, you always knew baseball, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, from the time I was probably 5 or 6 years old, I remember my mom used to collect our little scrapbooks that she used to have us fill out when we were kids. And I think when I was 4, I put policemen, 5 firemen. And from the time I was 6 on, I was like, wanted to be a pro baseball player.
But during your stripping days, you were a policeman and a fireman.
I doubled, yeah.
Right, yeah.
You know,
right.
the Thunder from Down Under.
Did you have a stripper name? What was your stripper name? Did you have one?
Yeah, it was
Officer
Rock Fitzwell.
Rock Fitzwell. All right, we still haven't broke the Greg Vaughn. We haven't swore, but we're walking the line. So you get drafted. I mean, you come to the Twins, 1995, Rookie of the Year, which is incredible. So that's when you realize, all right, wait, I am good at baseball. You're in the bigs and you win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, there was a lot of trials and tribulations on my way up.
Yeah?
I didn't really try too hard the first 2 years. I was, again, not into baseball. And
Wow.
then I decided to, Steve Little was our manager in Visalia, and he's like, you got 1 more year left. If you don't come to spring training in shape and take it seriously, you're done. Luckily for me, and where Denny comes into this picture as the universe comes together, is I came in really good shape. I was hitting great in spring training, but we had Midre Cummings, who was our first-round pick.
And
he was going to be the left fielder for Visalia, and they didn't know whether I was going to be a 4th outfielder, make the team, or what. Well, fortunate for me, we traded Midre for Denny and opened up the position in left field for me in Visalia. I went on to hit like 341, 28 homers, and 132 RBIs in 131 games.
Oh, my gosh.
And that kind of launched me into being a prospect.
Yeah, and then I remember when you came into the major leagues, and by the way, I was looking to see who the National League Rookie of the Year was that year. You probably know.
Nomo.
And Hideo Nomo, but second, a Hall of Famer,
Chipper Jones. Yeah, because that was a big controversy because with Nomo, and then I think did Ichiro get it too? I'm pretty sure.
I think he did, but he was like 30 or something.
Right, but same thing. Nomo had pitched like 6 years in the Japanese professional leagues too. Yeah. So we were, that was the next year I went to Atlanta. But I know all the Braves fans and stuff were pretty ticked off about that.
And I think Chipper had played the year before and had quite a few at bats, so it was kind of whether he was really a true rookie or not too. So Chipper was awesome.
Yeah,
he deserved it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
One more quick story, if you don't mind.
Yes, please. That's why we're here. Yeah.
So, again, things just happen for me, luckily, in baseball. A lot of things is timing, luck, and a little bit of ability, obviously. But in 94 was the year, the O.J. Simpson thing happened. I was in AAA, had a really great year. I was going to get called up, but we went on strike. So when we went on strike, Shane Mack was the outfielder for the Twins, and he was a stud.
Yeah, he was.
And so now I'm going to be maybe an outfielder, but now Shane Mack's there. So the strike actually really benefited me because he then signed a 4-year, $16 million deal in Japan and left the United States, and then left field opened up for me. Like these crazy things happen, and I've just been really fortunate.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, I'm confused. You said something about an O.J. Simpson thing. I don't know. What was?
Did something happen with him?
What happened? Did he won a
something
Heisman?
About a glove that didn't fit?
Bronco something.
Well, he was football.
He had a Wilson glove, maybe.
Broncos. He played for the Broncos. Or did he play for the Bills? I'm very confused.
Nordberg.
It was Nordberg, and that was the most impressive thing right there. So I want to talk about Denny for a second, and I don't know. I've been holding this story because we had Tim Neverett here. Tim Neverett's now currently he's a play-by-play for the Dodgers. He did the Red Sox and he did the Pirates. And Tim Neverett said there was a story about you, Denny. This is nothing bad. Now he goes, I'm 90% positive this is a true story that you were pitching and Bob Walk was calling the pitches from the dugout and you didn't realize it. Do you know this story?
Was it when I threw the 2-hit shutout?
You were pitching a no-hitter.
Almost a no-hitter,
yeah. Yeah, and you didn't realize, and then Bob Walk was getting nervous, and LaValliere didn't tell you, and they didn't know. So never told us the story a little bit, but no,
because I mean that whole thing, like how that happened, like you said, like timing and everything, and the way things work out sometimes. It was in Montreal. I hated pitching in Montreal. I used to get my brains beat in there. The field was awful. The turf sucked. Whatever. The fans would blow these horns all game,
like those vuvuzelas or whatever.
And every time I used to get my brains beat in, and you would take the subway back up in Montreal, right back to because it was much easier than waiting for cabs or if you wanted to wait for the team bus.
Right.
And I remember I would get my brains beat in, and dude's blowing the horn next to me, and I'm like, oh, this is great. So, anyways, I'd gotten sick as a dog on the flight in coming the night before. And so I was loading up with vitamins. They hooked me up with an IV in the locker room and the training room and stuff too. I didn't even know if I was even going to be able to pitch.
Wow.
And I'm pitching against Pedro that night too. So I'm like, all right, well, let's just go get this one, out of the way, and get it over with. And so I think that helped me out a lot because I was just like, kind of like you said, Marty, like, sometimes you're just like, I don't really care right now and stuff, whatever. And then sometimes that's the best thing that can happen.
Yeah.
But then after the fact, I'm out there. I had a one-hitter going up until like the 8th inning, and the only hit was a David Segui chopper to Carlos Garcia.
Dave Segui,
and he wasn't exactly fleet of foot either, too. And Carlos kind of had to go up the middle. He kind of bobbled it for a second, threw, and pulled our first baseman out the bag. Ended up being a base hit, and there was like 2 outs in the 8th inning now, and that's the only hit. And our sports information director was saying he was getting ready to go up and raise some hell with the with this official score. I think Jimmy was I think Jimmy was the one that was going to be doing the arguing, because they're like, this can't, if this ends as a one hitter, it was really questionable. And then so thank God, really, David Segui comes up again, change up off the end of the bat, duck fart into right field, whatever, gets the second hit. And so, they were, thank God that happened. But afterwards, Walkie's like, I called that whole game, right? And I'm like, wait, what?
So Bob Walk's sitting in the dugout, and he's giving the signals. Something Tim Everett said it was something, he had a towel.
Yeah, real simple. Because you would never think he's going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Walkie was such a goofy guy anyways, too.
And he's so great on the Pirate games. Bob Walk, who pitched for the Pirates and won a ring with the Phillies his rookie year.
Absolutely.
That's what always bothered me, that he won his ring with the Phillies. Ryan, did you have something? Oh,
dude, I remember at the end of the 92 season, we had already clinched the playoffs, so we're finishing out, I think, the last 3 games in Wrigley. Okay. Yeah. And so a bunch of us are cracking up in the dugout, and Leland's going, what the hell's going on, guys? Damn it, we still have a game to win. I know we've already clinched whatever. Right. We're like, Skip, look up.
Yes.
Walk was up in where they flip the scores manually and stuff. He's up there doing that, and waving to us through like the 0, whatever, on the scoreboard in center field in Wrigley. Like, hey, guys, what's going on? Then he went in right field, had a trench coat on, was hanging out with the fans and stuff during the game.
So 92 Pirates, how'd that season end? I don't want to talk about it. Francisco Cabrera said, Bream, let's not talk about it. So that means you faced Pedro Martinez in that game, hitting. Did you ever face Pedro, Marty?
Unfortunately, I did.
What was it like facing Pedro Martinez? I mean, just watching at home, it's a wiffle ball. I mean, and his speed,
Denny knows this better than I do. As any pitcher that can control like 6 pitches and locate them, because he could locate his sinker, his cutter, his curveball, both spots, his slider, both spots, and his changeup. So
and through 95 plus.
Yeah, and he had great stuff. So yeah,
I did get my first big league hit off Pedro Martinez.
You did not.
I did.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my! Did you keep the ball back then?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Did he buzz you the next time? Because is it bad etiquette to say I want that ball? Because it's your first hit. I guess. It's okay.
He understood that.
And I didn't realize off of Pedro.
Off of Pedro.
What other pitchers did you get hit, like I hit off?
I got a hit off Randy Johnson. Oh. Yeah, I got a few in my books.
Yeah. Well, what's really impressive is he can say something I can't, because I faced Pedro 23 times and never got a hit.
Are you serious?
And the only time I did get a hit, it was a base hit up the middle when I played for Toronto. Nomar dived for it, and he then got up and threw it, and there's no way he could have got me, but they called it an error. And I'm like, really? We're at home? It didn't matter because we weren't winning the game, but I was like, I really would have liked to have a hit off him. But yeah, he was him and Rivera are 2 guys I never got a hit off.
Oh, Mariano Rivera, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, you played with him, right? But I mean, he was nasty, right?
Oh, gosh, dude. I mean, it's unbelievable. Knowing that one pitch,
it's coming,
everybody knows it's coming. That shows you how good a pitch is. Because as you know, Marty, I mean, Marty will attest to this, being a rookie of the year and a great hitter himself. When you know there's only one pitch that you have to look out for, you would think at some point the hitters could adjust, but that's how nasty that pitch was.
I want to double down on that, because I say to anyone, I think he's the best pitcher that ever played the game. Because I'm not just bragging about myself, but any major league player that was a decent hitter, if I knew what pitch was coming, I'd be in the Hall of Fame. I might have hit 420. I would have statues of every team I played for. And I'm not joking, because even look at Houston, and they thought they were tipping pitches. When you know what's coming, you just don't swing at the curveball, because it's hardly ever a strike, or you make it elevated. You can look for pitches in certain zones. And if you look at the hitting chart, you're like 3-1, I would be hitting 475. 2-0,
right,
485. And then when it was 0-2, you're hitting 063.
Yeah.
So when you don't know what's coming, that's what makes hitting hard. I used to take batting practice in Toronto with Carlos Delgado, and even David Wells brought a jersey to me and said, to the best 5 o'clock hitter I've ever seen in my life. Because I would hit balls like 500, 600 feet, and Carlos couldn't even hit him that far. And he's like, how do you hit him that far? And I'm like, well, because I had pretty good bat speed.
Right.
And he's like, why can't you hit 30 or 40 home runs in the season? I said, because they don't tell you what's coming. And they don't lob the ball in like in BP.
It's not a 60-year-old coach throwing batting practice.
That's a big difference.
Oh, my God, that's a great story. So about baseball tonight, there's the lines here at South Point Casino. So it's pretty even right now. I mean, Arizona's at home. They got Zach Gallen going versus Valdi. I mean, do they close it out tonight? I mean, we've been watching the series together. What are your thoughts, guys?
I think because of the fact Evaldi had a tough start his last one, I think he's going to bounce back. Because he has proven, like Marty and I were saying earlier, even when he's had like just so average regular seasons, pitching wise, that guy is one of those guys who just seems to be able to turn it up a notch in the postseason. So I'm going to say he's going to come lights out tonight, and I think he's going to finish it off.
Rangers in 5 then. What do you think, Marty?
I pretty much agree. And again, it's very difficult to win 3 in a row, especially against a team I think Texas is better.
Yeah.
So if Texas can come out and Seager can hit a home run or they score early, it'll be over.
And Corey Seager around time was plus 350 to hit a home run, and I was going to take it, and I didn't.
And we were talking about that last night. I don't know if you saw it, Marty, but they put up a stat in the game last night that Seager, after 77 postseason games now, compared to Reggie Jackson, Seager has 19 bombs and 49 ribbies, and Reggie had like 18 and 48. So he's even ahead of Reggie's pace.
Impressive.
That's pretty incredible.
And they scored 10 runs with 2 outs. That had to be a record for the World Series. And 10-0 on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just not losing.
That's unheard of.
And Garcia, I think he has 20 RBIs this postseason.
Yeah, and he's not even going to. And he's not even playing.
He's going to finish out.
And he's done. Him and Scherzer are sitting in the dugout going, well, what size?
Go get me a ring, boys.
What size ring do you wear? Yeah, let's get fitted for this. Anything going on over there, Ryan?
Bob Dell just wanted to know what your 1 year in Baltimore was like.
Oh, he's in Baltimore.
This is Frank's buddy.
He's a DJ in Baltimore. He's a big Baltimore. He's a Pittsburgh guy, but he lives in Baltimore for the past 20 years.
Well, you mentioned Segui. He was my teammate there in Conine. Brian Roberts. Jay Gibbons is still a real good friend of mine. We talked quite a bit. It was my 2002 season was not great. It was okay, and I had a decent year. And then the next year I came out, I started to have elbow injuries. And then after the 6th game, I had a decent start to the season, and then I had to have surgery, and then it just ballooned into Tommy John surgery.
Oh,
that's
and then
right.
I tore the tendon off my bicep again. It was 3 surgeries back to back. And then just to be honest, Lou Mazzelli was the manager, and I think if I'm correctly, no, not Lou Mazzelli. It's I'm messing it up. The Italian guy.
Lee Mazzelli.
Lee Mazzelli.
Is it Lee Mazzelli?
No, it wasn't him.
Leo Mazzoni.
No, it was.
a pitching
I think he was.
I'm being an idiot. Anyway, he was the manager, and I wanted to come back and DH at least. And the team, they take insurance on you. They wouldn't let me come back until I could play the outfield, and I was still having trouble throwing. So they were just doing kind of anything they could. And I understand it, to not have to have me come on the field. And the team was terrible. So it just ended my career that way. And then I ended up having back surgeries, and I was kind of done with baseball at that point.
Great question, Bob. Most depressing story of all time. Way to go, Dell.
But the stadium is amazing. I love playing for Baltimore. It was my favorite field before I went there. It's the stadium and the scenery and the fans when you're winning, like anywhere. But the fans there are really good when they win.
That's a good question. Favorite stadium? What was your favorite stadiums to play in, Denny?
I love playing in St. Louis.
Really? The old
Yes.
stadium?
The old one, the new one.
I saw you pitch there, I think. I think I saw a game. I think I was shooting Street Smarts in town, and I think I saw you pitch.
I've always said, man, they're some of the most knowledgeable baseball fans out there. They really are, and they just appreciate good baseball, too, because I remember plenty of times when, we would be winning 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th, and Andrew Jones would make a diving catch to save the couple runs, with the go-ahead runs, and the fans would be like, dang it, Jones. Nice catch, man. I don't like you, but that was a good catch.
Defense alone, I think Andrew Jones belongs in the Hall of Fame. I mean, hit a home run in the World Series when he was 19 or 20 years old.
Yeah.
People, I don't know if you realize, there's probably a montage on YouTube. Andrew Jones was the best center fielder.
Dude, unbelievable. I can't tell you how many times, Frank, but I would make the pitch and, dang it, whatever. And there's Andrew just flagging it down.
Yeah.
He played the most shallow center field I've ever seen anybody play. Because he knew his first jump, his first step on any ball was just unbelievable. He had the most incredible instincts. So even if it was hit over his head, he had the ability to go get it. But those line drives or bloopers that most center fielders wouldn't catch, he caught because he played so shallow.
Again, he robbed the Pirates all the time. I hated him, but you have to respect him. It was like when I was a kid, I hated Pete Rose, and then as I got older, I became a gambling addict.
I don't want to speak for Denny here, but I've heard that exact same sentiment, and I'm sure he will say this. You want the chink ones that you make a good pitch caught.
Yeah.
And if a guy smokes a double in the gap, you're not going to catch it anyway. And you made a bad pitch, so you can live with that.
100%.
But when balls keep dropping in front of center fielders, you're like, dude, come on. I made a good pitch. The guy put a bad swing on it, and I'm getting punished.
Yeah.
So, and then
absolutely.
you can throw guys out at the plate. And I think, just me, I don't know Andrew Jones personally, but it didn't seem like he was he was so nonchalant.
Yeah.
Like if he would have put more effort into it, who knows what he really could have been. And I'm speaking out of turn here. I don't know what his work ethic was or that, but it just seemed like he was very just having fun and not taking it as seriously.
Right. Had he even more applied himself, possibly he'd be an automatic Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. What
was your worst stadium? What stadiums did you hate the most to play in? Was it Montreal for you?
Mine was Montreal for sure. Yeah.
I didn't like playing in Oakland. I hated playing in Oakland. And for the reason is the left field is where I played left field, and the stands, always the cheaper seats are in left field, and they had these guys out there that were, oh my God. I tell this to my friends all the time. They had one dude with a megaphone. and then the rest of the crowd. And he would, when I come out there, he'd go, "What's the matter with Marty?" And the whole crowd would go, "He likes boys. What's the matter with Marty? He likes boys." And then I'd be at the plate hitting, and the first pitch strike, 0-1. You know, they knew the count.
Oh gosh!
And then if I would hit a home run my first at bat, because I did hit okay there,
Yeah.
I'd run out the field and they'd be like, "Steroids!" Like, you couldn't win. It was nonstop.
First of all, are you allowed to bring bullhorns into stadiums?
It was a megaphone,
Oh,
like
okay.
a cheerleading megaphone.
Right. Oh, we have a Bishop Gorman one here, don't we? Or is it
Yeah,
gone?
we have Alex's.
Oh, yeah, we had Alex's from when she was a UNLV. It's been around. We have a Bishop Gorman one.
Bishop
somewhere.
Gorman.
Yeah, I know. That's where he went to school because
Yeah.
Alex White went there. But oh my God, that's just terrifying. Well, I mean, you know, and how many fans were at those games? Well, that might have been when they were good. So
They weren't great, but they're always sold out because the left field seats were so cheap, you know.
I told this story before. I was doing a show there, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and me and whoever the other comic I was with, we started walking in the stadium, and the guy saw us. He goes, "Hey, you guys going to the game?" We're like, "Yeah." He goes, "Come with me." And we're like, "Whoa, we're in charge." He just took us in and let us in for free. He didn't care. He's like, "Yeah, go ahead, sit down. Sit anywhere you want." There was like 1,000 people there. He didn't give a shit. He was just like, "Sure, come on." I think he wanted the team to be sold, maybe. Maybe he knew that the
Or they hope
ownership-
you buy a $43 Coke.
Yeah, right. Now, I want to say, no, I saw you pitch San Diego. You were playing for the Rockies, and I came and saw
Well, that
you.
was by far my favorite place to pitch numbers wise.
Yeah. Oh, was that Jack Murphy then?
Yeah,
right?
the
Or
old Jack
whatever
Murphy.
they're
Even though it wasn't necessarily considered the best pitcher's park.
Yeah.
because it was Jack Murphy was a pretty the new one, Petco. That place
It's
is huge.
unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great place to pitch.
It's beautiful.
But dude, there's something about knowing that every night that you pitch, it was going to be 72 degrees and beautiful out,
Yeah.
and stuff. It just pumped me up to go pitch there. So I think I had like a 1.3 career GPA.
You were
ERA.
GPA.
That's your GPA
You
too.
never had a high
GPA was about lower than
About
that.
2.3. And Ricky Henderson was on the team, if I'm not mistaken. Was
Yes.
Ricky there on the Padres?
Yeah.
And he, I remember you came out. I met you at the tunnel or whatever, and there was like a Rolls or a Bentley or something parked right there. And I think you're like, yeah, they let Ricky park there.
Dude, I was just telling that the golf trip with Pete Harnish and those guys. I was just telling some of the Ricky Henderson stories. Dude, I don't know if you know about he's legendary, Marty. For some
give us a Ricky story. 'cause
One
there's
of my
1,000
favorite
of them.
ones is Steve Finley was his teammate, the outfielder, whatever. And
Sure.
so they're getting on the bus, getting ready to head to the airport, right? And so Ricky's sitting at up front in the bus next to a rookie, and Steve Finley goes, "Ricky, what are you doing doubling up? You got tenure." And he goes, "Shit, Ricky don't got 10 year. Ricky got 19 year in the big leagues."
I heard that one.
Ricky was supposed to have his own seat.
Yeah,
He had
veterans in the back.
10 year. I've been in the league. And the John Olerud story, is that
Oh,
true?
that's 100% true too.
Okay, yeah.
I heard that too.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. John Olerud, who had like brain surgery. Or
He had like a brain aneurysm,
Yeah.
brain surgery when he was in college.
Yeah.
So he always had the hard
He wore a
helmet on.
Playing first base in the field. Yeah.
So him and Ricky were already teammates in Toronto. Now they're teammates in New York. Ricky comes up to him and says, "Say, man, why you got that hard helmet on, man?" He goes, "Are you serious, Ricky?" He goes, "Yeah." And so he starts explaining again. In college, I had this brain aneurysm, so the doctors told me I have to wear this because if I take another shot there, I could literally die from it. He goes, "Man, I had to play with a guy in Toronto, had the same thing." And John just looks at him and goes, "Yeah, that was me,
that
Ricky."
was me. That was me. He got a bonus check. The bonus
$1 million.
check story? Yeah, tell that story.
$1 million.
Ricky Henderson, Jack, right now. But go-
Signing bonus with the Yankees. And then I think it was New York Magazine came to do a big feature on him, and they're taking pictures and stuff, whatever, and either the reporter or the photographer, one or the other or both, they're like, "Ricky, is that your $1 million check?" He goes, "Yeah, I keep that in the frame, whatever." They're like, "You never cashed it?" "Oh, no, I got the money." And then sure enough, the Yankees saw this article and everything, and they're like, "That's where the bookkeeping had been off by $1 million for like the past year because he had the $1 million check in the
Never
frame."
cashed $1 million check. Just framed it. Oops, I forgot to deposit it. That's going to be you after you hit your Rangers future.
Yeah.
You're going to get that $650 or $700. What do we want to talk about?
I want to talk about his connection with Dana White in the UFC, man.
Okay,
I
yeah,
know
sure.
you're a huge UFC fan. Because I'll admit, Marty, there's been a few times where I've been watching. I love the UFC also too, man. I'm a big fan of it. And I love when I look up there, I'm like, "There's Marty, man," like right behind Dana and stuff, man. So do you pretty much make most of the Vegas events?
Yeah, I make all the Vegas events if I'm in town. Like I'm going to New York with him coming up a week from today. I go to all of them. It was when I retired, I was traveling with him so much, people thought I worked for the UFC. And I'm like, I'm just really like a hanger-on.
He's a bodyguard.
Yeah, we've been friends for so long since we were
high school or grade school or whatever, yeah.
We were young kids. We've been friends for over 40 years. So
So you like fly on the plane with him and stuff?
Yeah, he has his own plane, and he takes just a couple guys that
How
are
does
friends.
he afford that?
No, he flies Southwest, and he always forgets to get the point. I'm in C again, damn it.
It's funny you mentioned that, though, because when he first started with the UFC, there's a whole long story about that with Lorenzo Fertitta and Frank that got into jiu-jitsu and wanted to buy it, paid $2 million. That's a long story.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the beginning, he was flying Southwest, and he flew a lot of Southwest flights. I helped him out a long time ago getting on Best Damn Sports Show with my agent. He's come a long way, and he's earned every dollar he's made and more.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
how about we talk about...
I just want to ask, what do you think of the power slaps? Have you gotten to go to those?
I was just there last Wednesday. Was the finale. It's I put it on my Instagram, and I said it kind of is like watching nonstop highlight reel. It's like watching a boxing match and you're waiting for the knockout and it may never come. It's coming. And he's genius in the fact that he got a lot of these social media influencers involved in it. These young kids that really have a shorter attention span nowadays. So they're posting about it. He takes care of them at the Red Rock Casino. And so this is the vibe in there. The first finale was good. Then as the production got better, as the production is fantastic of UFC events. Craig Bassari is a good friend. He's the head of production. He's amazing. And it's just getting better and better. And so this last Wednesday was really amazing. The feel was awesome. The energy was great. It's not for everybody, but that's okay. A lot of things aren't for everybody.
Right.
But
he was there.
He turned something into that people thought was a joke into a company that's going to be worth $1 billion here shortly.
Well, we were going to show footage of it. We don't have the footage. So if you guys could reenact how the slap fight works real quick.
I get to go first.
You get to go first. I mean, what's the guy, the big Hawaiian?
The crazy Hawaiian.
The crazy Hawaiian, man. Ryan was there, and he shot some footage for us. This thing's insane.
Did you challenge him, Ryan?
No, I did not. That guy's 380 some pounds.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So, no, thank you.
One thing though that is really kind of unfortunate, and maybe they're going to do something like another friend of ours, Skip Kelp, had an idea we were talking about a year or two ago, is now who gets to go first, slap first, is a coin toss, which to me obviously there's no skill involved, it's pure luck. But if they had something like in Family Feud where it was like the countdown and then you had to hit the buzzer, that would be a little bit of, and if you go first, you lose. So it'd be a competition. It could be more content for them to have. Again, I'm not telling Dana how to run his business. He's the professional. I'm just a guy watching, and this was Skip Kelp's idea. But I thought that was because a couple of them, the last one was the NFL ex-football player, I believe for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
He got hit first, and I'm like, this guy's going to kill the other guy. But he got knocked out, and he almost got up, but he couldn't quite get his bearings. So it's like he will bring him back for next season. But again, what if he draws the second slap again? Then you never get a chance to show your, it's not really 100% fair or based on pure skill or talent.
Sure.
Done.
Was your manager in Baltimore Sammy Perlazzo?
He was a bench coach.
Okay, all right.
You're still trying to think of the Italian guy. Yeah, you're still trying to think.
Hargrove was the manager in Baltimore was a real Italian, dark-haired guy. I'm being crazy.
I know it's drive me.
Cal Ripken Sr.
Mazzilli?
I said Lee Mazzilli.
Well, it's not Lee Mazzilli.
No, it's not Lee Mazzilli.
That was 2004, 2005. Mike Hargrove was 2000, 2003.
It was Lee Mazzilli.
Was it Lee Mazzilli?
And then there was Lou
2004,
Mazzilli, or
05.
what was with Braves, or what was that?
Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach.
I'm getting
Lee Mazzilli was a Met. He played for the Mets. I think he was there in '87. He played for the Pirates.
Guy. I really liked him.
Yeah, Mazzilli was with me with the Yankees.
Oh, was he really?
He's old school Italian.
Yeah, right. Total old school Italian. I remember. I heard stories about him around town. He was very old school Italian. Here, do you want to go? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, get to that. All right.
So Marty, with your looks and everything too, we figured that you probably have done some TV stuff in your time. And in fact, I think you did do a big appearance once upon a time, didn't you, Frank?
I believe we have some footage, Marty, of you on Saturday Night Live.
Jeff Facero of the Seattle Mariners.
Well, that's not a stiff walk.
Hey, Benjamin.
Yeah, it's Danny. Mind if we smoke?
And then you're
That's
puffing.
the first and last time I've ever smoked a cigar.
Is that right? That was the first and last cigar?
Impressive
Well,
that
you
you
can tell
didn't
I'm
cough.
such a natural at it. That was a lot of fun.
That would have been great if you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You're supposed to- So tell us how that came about. This is a sketch. I think Helen Hunt was the host. It's 96, 97, and all these. It's called Baseball Dreams. You can watch it on YouTube right here. We're after the show.
After you subscribe.
After what?
After you subscribe.
After you subscribe. Because Mike Zilla 667 already won the contest, but keep subscribing. Tell us how that happened.
Also, Jack Nicholson was the co-host.
Oh my God,
So I got to meet him too.
Oh,
which
nice.
was really cool because they were promoting As Good as It Gets, that movie.
Yeah, exactly,
So
right.
They were promoting that. So how it happened was my agent Sam and Seth Levinson of Aces, they have a big group of guys, a lot of New York dudes, and they had Todd Zeal.
Yeah.
And so when we would go there for this, at Mickey Mantle's, we'd have a charity event every year for Christmas time. So we went there, and then Todd Zeal was like, hey, I want to go watch Saturday Night Live. So he had his assistant call Saturday Night Live and said, I got 20 guys or whatever in town. They want to come watch the Saturday Night Live. And they said, would they be interested in doing a skit? He's like, I don't know. Let me ask him. So we had no clue before we even got there that we were going to do this. They had to FedEx our uniforms in and things. So as you may or may not know, they do a
dress rehearsal
twice.
Yeah, right.
So that the one is live, but it doesn't go live.
Correct.
It's still live.
They do 2 hours too, and then they pick the best 90 minutes. But yeah.
And so when we did the first one, it was like unbelievably perfect. Everybody had their lines absolutely perfect. The second one wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But it was just a little bit not 100% perfect. But it was a lot of fun. We had a bunch of cool dudes. As Denny knows, when you're an athlete, it's like family. You're around guys so much, and these dudes are all awesome, cool dudes. Get a chance to do that was amazing.
Yeah.
We got to go ice skating at Rockefeller.
And Rockefeller. Oh,
with
wow.
Jack Nicholson. We got a picture of the frame of the group and Chris Kattan. Oh, and also Will Ferrell, who I love. Will Ferrell.
Oh my God! Oh, he's in the sketch with you. If you watch the full sketch, Will Ferrell plays this guy like I played a little minor league ball and all these major leaguers. It's a hysterical sketch, and I just stumbled upon it when I was reading your bio. I was like, oh my God! And I remembered the sketch. Mm-hmm. Because it was like all these baseball players. I had Todd Zeal, Greg Jeffries, and is it Rondell White? Was Rondell White in it?
Rondell White, Cliff Floyd, Scott Rowland.
Yeah, Hall of
Pedro
Famer.
Barbone.
But Floyd or White didn't have their uniform. They sent an Expos T-shirt, so maybe FedEx didn't work from Canada.
Couldn't get it in fast enough.
Right. I know. Everyone has a uniform on. He's just wearing an Expos T-shirt. I'm like, wait a second, one of these things doesn't fit.
It was supposed to be there, but he could have probably went to any sports store and just got an Expos jersey. Yeah. It did look a little funny.
Yeah, it did. Because he's the only one not in a jersey. I was wondering what the story is, and now I know. And scene, that's a comedy clip that Jerry will cut together later. All right. What did we find the Shaq story or not about Stevie Wonder being blind? We don't have to show it. Do we have it? Okay.
I thought the footage of him falling off the stage and his shoe coming off was the one.
Oh my God! By the way, the TNT NBA show is hysterical every time you watch it. Those guys together are amazing. I don't know. Do we have the story or not? I'll just tell it.
Yep.
We got it. All right. Watch this clip. And listen to Shaq tell the story about Stevie Wonder.
Don't do it. Go ahead. I know what you're going to ask me.
You think Stevie Wonder can see?
Listen.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's the craziest thing ever.
I'm saying we lived in a building together on Wilshire Boulevard.
Wait. You lived in a building with Stevie?
With Stevie, okay? We used to have to drive to the bottom underneath to park your car. I'm coming to the first floor that day. It goes down because when I got in, I didn't press the button. So it went down first. Stevie got in. I'm standing in the corner. I didn't say nothing. And he looked over and he's like, what up, Big Diesel? And he turned his head, hit his button, and got off. Listen,
come on.
I'm telling you what happened. I don't know if I was smelling from practice that day, but he just turned around. What's up, Diesel? Hit his button. Yeah.
That's hysterical. Yeah, and he told the story on NBA on the TNT show.
Oh my
and Kenny
gosh.
Smith's like, tell the story. I know the story. It's hysterical. Tell the story. That's hysterical. I want to talk about football real quick. Excuse me. Last night we were at dinner and news breaking story.
News.
Josh McDaniel fired as the coach. The GM. We have a picture of the two of them. Very excited. Is it David Ziegler, and Josh McDaniel fired by the Raiders in the middle of the night. There's the 22. That stands for, that's not the year they signed. That's how many
losses there?
That's how many games their tenure lasted, which is actually 24?
I think it's 24.
24.
25.
Fired in the middle of the night. Now, the rumor, I was telling you before the show, I got to tell you this rumor. So, this is on the internet. We don't know if it's true, but Josh McDaniel came after the loss to the Lions on Monday Night Football, dressed as owner Mark Davis, complete with the haircut. I don't know. And they sat, and I guess Mark Davis has this P.F. Chang's order that he loves getting. And the P.F. Chang's order came, and he's having lunch with them. And Davis suggests McDaniels read his fortune cookie, which read, "You're fired, hotshot," in the fortune cookie.
No way.
I don't know. First of all, Does he have a fortune cookie guy on retainer that he can just print up fortune cookies? I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but I don't know if that's true or not. But that's going around the internet, and if that's true,
I kind of hope it's true because that's hilarious.
I mean, that's and he fired him. That's got to be the first firing from a fortune cookie, I would think. Have you ever been fired from a job? Either
that's
one of you?
Pre-cookie.
I mean, when you get released, I guess it's the same.
And by the way, we asked AI to show us what that would look like, and there it is. So you can do anything on AI now. Do we put Ryan put Josh McDaniels? Is this another one?
That's him reading it. Yeah.
That's him. By the way, the largest fortune cookies I've ever seen in my life.
And his hair doesn't look like
that. And his hair doesn't quite look. No. He looks like Peyton Manning in that, by the way.
That's what I thought it was.
I thought it was bad. Like, Peyton Manning got fired by the Raiders?
I mean, the closest thing that we have to being fired is being released from a team.
Right.
Know? So my last year playing ball, Marty was there that year actually in spring training.
In Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay Rays. And dude, I was like already kind of like checked out mentally and everything. You know, like Marty had talked about earlier too. Sometimes you just reach that point,
right?
And you just know. And so Lou calls me in, you know, dude, and they brought me in to kind of be like the veteran guy, but then they signed Nomo after me. I was like 8 months out of shoulder surgery. Nomo was like 16 months, so he was ready to go. And so long story short, Lou calls me in and starts giving me the Bull Durham speech.
Yeah,
it's the toughest job a manager's got to do, Denny, like that, you know. And he literally starts the same conversation
that same way.
I go, Lou, are you giving me the Bull Durham speech right now? I go, if you are, I go, you can save it. I said, Lou, I've done everything I ever thought I would do, and then some in this game. I said, I'm fine, man. I can walk away with my head held high. He goes, oh, well, shit, then. He goes, that made my job a lot easier. They're going to have a day game. He goes, you want a beer? I go, yeah, I'll have a beer with you. So I sat there in his office, had his beer with him. He goes, this was the easiest release I ever had to do.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wow.
I don't even remember that spring training because when I came there, I was having a lot of back problems. And I couldn't even work out the way I wanted to, just doing drills to get in shape. And it was killing me. And so I called him and said, look, I don't even want to play. And he's like, same thing. He's like, we're trying to get some veteran players here. The team was terrible. He's like, look, you don't have to. He thought maybe I wanted shortcuts or something. And he's like, you don't have to do what all the other guys are doing. I said, look, it's not that. It hurts so much that I don't have any passion for the game. I don't want to go out here and be miserable. I'd rather just shut it down. So I kind of just, it was mutual at that point. He's like, I get it.
Okay.
I was disappointed to see Marty go because we hadn't played together since our Twins days and stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't say I was extremely disappointed because once he got there, I was the second best looking guy on the team.
And third best looking in the studio. Right, Marty? Right, Marty?
Should we talk about where he just came from?
I was just going to go there. Go for it, man. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Marty, why don't you? I'll just throw it over to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you were telling us beforehand, too, that you just got back in Costa Rica and you've had a pretty cool experience there the last few years.
Yeah, I won't get too deep into it, but I had struggled with some alcohol things and just other things in my life that weren't really going great. When I turned 50, I decided to make a change. So I had read a lot. The business that I owned, we had Dr. Joe Dispenza was a client. He talked about similar things to ayahuasca with DMT, releasing in your brain naturally through meditation. Joe Rogan's a friend and a client as well. And so he had talked about deprivation tanks, doing DMT. So I decided to go down to a place called Rhythmia in Costa Rica and have this week-long experience, which was very life-changing. It's like 20 years of therapy in a week, very brutal experience, very difficult, the most difficult thing I've ever done, but the most rewarding. So therefore, I really started to fall in love with the country, and I came back there with my dad last year for his 83rd birthday and my brother for his 60th birthday just this last week. And I had always been considering maybe buying a house there because the market's very good for rentals there. There's not a lot of houses. And so the cards fell in place where there was a house that would be finished December 10th. And I loved it, and I could make some modifications to it myself, and it would be great for the rental market. So I said, I'm going to make the jump and buy it, and then I'll be able to have my family and friends go there.
Wow.
And, maybe not ayahuasca in the future for me. I don't necessarily think I need to do it, or maybe I will, maybe I won't. It's not something you do recreationally. It's not even someone that says, I was thinking of doing that. I'm not sure. I'd say, then don't do it.
Right.
It has to be like a serious calling. There's people there that have had children that were killed in car accidents, a lot of tragic things that they can't get over, and it helps them heal. So it's not something to play around with because it can really affect a normal person, maybe in a bad way, if you're doing something, opening up these doors that maybe you shouldn't.
Wow, that's fascinating. And what else are you up to now that you've had these awakenings and you're back here running businesses? But what else? What does Marty do tomorrow? What are you up to tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I had started a company with a couple of friends called Bent Pixels. We're a social media company, and about 2 years ago, I sold my interest in that. We had spun off a tech company called Paladin Software that actually I'd worked with a team in Poland to develop software that our competitors use, like full screen, broadband TV, these big Maker Studio. Where our competitors, they licensed our software, ended up selling both of those businesses. That's when I really could focus on just getting myself straight and doing passion projects, working on breath work, meditation, cold exposure, just getting in a better place mentally to where I could be of service to other people.
Wow.
I know it sounds cheesy, but
No.
Not at
but
all,
really,
man.
when you're going through dark places, and Denny could maybe speak of this too, is a lot of people say, "Oh, if I had money and fame and this, I'd be so happy." And I'm like, I had that, and I wasn't happy, and it was just something inside of me that was feeling that way. It wasn't necessarily anything I did per se, but there were some things I wasn't proud of. But the point is, that doesn't make you happy, and I realized then that helping other people, just being a good guy, talking to people, talking to strangers, being a good member of society is where I really feel comfortable.
Wow.
That's awesome, Marty.
Yeah, and what was the cold therapy thing, or what were you talking about?
So that's kind of, I got into this breathing stuff at Tumo Breath, and then Wim Hof is a guy that's out of the Netherlands. He's Iceman. He's been doing this for like 60 years.
The Iceman.
Yeah,
Not
I've seen
George
him,
Gervin, but the Iceman. Oh, I saw him on Real Sports. I think I
Yes.
know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
So he does this a lot. I got into this, and then now even Dana's really, he uses a guy named Gary Brecka who got him into this amazing shape. Dana dropped from like 250 down to yesterday was like 192. He looks amazing. He was on high blood pressure medication, taking high cholesterol shots. He was a wreck, and he just thought that's what 50 felt like, but he was miserable. And so then in the period of like a year and a half, he's completely changed. No more meds, no more nothing.
He's off all the meds.
Yeah, off.
That's
Wow.
awesome, man.
He's on a keto diet, which he got him on, and so now in the last probably a year or so, he's really gotten into the cold exposure. And what it does is when you go into 50 degrees is probably the right temperature for 3 to 5 minutes, releases the shock enzyme or protein in your liver. And it does a lot of healing there, raises your immune system. But it also then, for me, one of the most important things was the power of will. Like it's a little battle. You don't want to do it. It feels terrible, but you do it. And then when you're out, like Joe Rogan's a big proponent of it.
Right.
Like I battle my inner bitch. I'll say
Sure.
the word, right?
That's okay.
Every day,
you can
and
say
it's
inner.
a little victory.
Yeah.
So when you do drugs or alcohol or even sex or things like that, your dopamine is going to swing to the right, and then always it's going to swing back to the left, and that's where addicts have a problem, is back and forth.
Okay.
But with this, you're pulling to the left and you're suffering, but you're doing it on your own terms. But then when you stop, your endorphins raise and dopamine levels raise for like 3.5 hours. They've measured that.
Wow.
After
But
you come out.
how is the shrinkage though on that when you're on the cold therapy? Because that's what I'd be concerned about. You know, you don't.
Well, when you go from like this to this, it's not that big.
When you go from Cordova to Neagle, yeah, I get it.
Frank thinks this is 6 inches. So.
I use the metric system, Denny. I use metric system.
Just out of curiosity,
Yeah,
Marty, what's the longest you've been able to do the cold tub for?
I don't, because really, if you do it for more, it becomes ego. And I typically do it for like, I'm going to go do it today at a place here where I do this breath work and cold exposure. I'll do probably 48 degrees for 5 minutes. And then sometimes I'll just be feeling like I want to stay in there longer, because I don't like to get out at the end of the 5 minutes. Like I want to get out on my terms.
Yeah.
I guess it sounds stupid.
Yeah,
but
no, I get it. Yeah, it's challenge
I'll
yourself.
Stay a little longer, and again, it's just more for me to just say I'm not going to give in to something. And when you struggle with something like this, it makes little things in life more easily to deal with. You don't, I don't stress as much. Guy cuts you off, you're like, whatever, it's no big deal. You just learn to deal with life a little better.
Now, on a lighter note, we're talking about cold and you getting into a cold machine. There's a story about a tanning bed that happened to Marty. Do you mind?
That's right.
Yeah.
I do remember
I'll
that.
tell you the story, and I've said this on a couple podcasts. That's not at all what happened.
Okay, because there's a story that is what? That
it's really ridiculous that somebody could, first of all, tanning beds turn off, and they
Right.
don't burn your beard. Because I only was burned right here.
Okay.
And so I'm sure
you were in a
guys-
tanning bed is what happened,
No, I
right?
was not in a
Oh, you weren't even in a tanning
It has nothing
bed?
to do with the tanning bed. This is a reporter who took a story and went with it, was completely false.
Okay.
Reporters do that?
Nah. So what truly happened was there's a plastic surgeon that I knew in Vegas, and at the time I had a really heavy beard, and it would scratch my neck when I would wear suits.
Yeah.
So I had him do a laser hair removal. That's why the burn was like quarter-sized burns.
Oh,
everywhere.
okay.
So he didn't have the settings proper on this machine, and it made big burns on my face that turned into water blisters and then these black scars.
Oh, man.
So I thought I was going to be scarred the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And it was a terrible thing, but I chose to do it because I just didn't want to have that irritation of this stubble I had on my
And
neck.
when you turn, it rips you. Yeah, I hate
it
that.
just was bothering me.
Yeah.
A little bit of vanity, maybe all of these things combined. And so I did it, and then I had to live through it. I didn't sue him. I didn't make a big deal about it. I didn't want to even say anything because I didn't want to put him in a bad light. So this story came out, and it was so frustrating because it wasn't the truth. I mean, how do you fall asleep in a tanning bed and only have your beard
Right.
burnt? Nothing else. I'd look just like this, except burns the size of. And Jim Palmer actually came up to me in the clubhouse, and he's like, "This ain't no tanning bed.
Right.
He looks like laser to me."
And he knew. Well, Jim
so-
Palmer was the guy who took care of himself right there. Now, is there shrinkage in tanning beds? I'm just wondering if there's issues with that as well. I believe there is what I told the girl when I came out without a towel.
That's why.
That's why. No. Well, listen, Marty, I know you're a Vegas guy. You guys have known each other for how long, Denny?
Oh, my God. We got drafted the same year.
Yeah, by the Twins,
We met
right?
in Elizabeth in Tennessee in 1989.
It's been a long
Oh, you played in the minors together?
Yes.
He came up a lot quicker in the minors than I did, though, to be honest.
Yeah. And then he got traded to the Pirates, which that's how we met. And this is the third day you've been here. Denny's been on the show twice. He was our first repeat guest via video. And I gave someone else the credit at first. I'm sorry. I thought this. Denny, I'm sorry. I forgot because we're.
Don't let it happen again.
I know. I won't let it happen again. But you came out here and you've been here for 3 days, and this has been so much fun. You brought Greg Vaughn in. We had Tom Glavine, for God's sakes, and now Marty Cordova's come in here, and it's been amazing. So we really appreciate you having. You're always welcome to come back. Ryan, anything else over there in live comments, or Mike Zillick chime in?
Nothing more. Just come back for tomorrow's episode.
Come back for tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow it'll be an episode, but it'll be lonely. I will be here. You know, I got Jeff coming up. Jeff Parles is going to be here from Sports by the Book, which you can watch at 3:00 today. Tomorrow. I really have to learn the schedule. Can we put it up somewhere so I know the schedule?
Big bold
of
letters.
All the shows. What's that?
Big bold letters.
I'm screwing up, but tonight's the World Series. So, Denny, you're leaving town tonight. You're out of here tonight.
Yep, got to get back to the family, man. Take care of some family
Private
stuff.
jet? You have the private jet here?
Yeah, Marty's giving me his.
Okay, that'll be nice. Anyway, so listen, honestly, thank you for being here so much, man. It's meant the world to me. We've hung out. We watched baseball together. I've known him like 30 plus years. He picks up checks a lot. That was a little joke. Marty, fascinating stories, man. You're a fascinating guy.
Thank you.
And all those things. And Zuffa Boxing we didn't even ask about, but what is Zuffa Boxing quickly?
Zuffa was the parent company that owned the UFC in the beginning. People just thought it was the UFC, but it was Zuffa. That was the company that Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta put together.
So that's like a vintage shirt, Zuffa.
No, well, it was Zuffa Entertainment, and then Dana was entertaining boxing, and he does a lot of things people don't know that he's doing. And working on the side of different projects. So Zuffa Boxing was something that he's passionate about boxing, very passionate about it, and he doesn't like the way the sport's been run and operated over the years.
Well, how about this past weekend with that fight, the Tyson Fury fight with what's his name?
Oh my gosh, Francis Ngannou. Yeah.
Did you see the post game photos? Tyson Fury's all beat up, and he looked fine. He won that fight, from what I've heard. I didn't see it, but it sounded like Fury didn't beat him.
Yeah, it was close. But to be fair, Fury came in really out of shape.
Really?
I think he really underestimated him because he had saw a lot of these ex-UFC fighters are fighting Jake Paul, and they're not boxers, and they look like they'd never even thrown a punch in their life.
Right.
So I think some of the videos I saw of Francis just hitting the mitts, I'm like, oh my, he's gonna get killed.
Yeah.
Because Fury is so skillful and talented and evasive. I'm like, he won't even hit him. But I didn't watch the fight. But apparently he tried to slug with him because Ngannou didn't rush him like he expected. He was gonna counterpunch. So he ended up being an aggressor at times and then got caught with that left hook.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, listen, we had 2 Hideo Nomo mentions. No swearings. This has been an epic show. Episode 18's in the books. We really appreciate you guys watching the show. Again, subscribe. This link will be up for you to share. Share this with your friends. We're getting bigger and bigger. Our numbers are growing. We really appreciate you guys watching. And Denny, once again, thank you for coming and bringing your Rolodex with you. A Rolodex, Ryan, was an old instrument where you had cards and you went through it alphabetically and you could pull it out. And now they have Palm Pilots. Wait, what are they?
Palm Pilots. Wow. Boy, talk about aging yourself.
A file of facts. Remember those? Anyway, you have iPhones. But anyway, it was an old way. But thank you for bringing everybody in. We love you guys watching. Thank you. This is it. Punchlines. We're wrapped till tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Go Rangers. Wrap it up. Bring you home your money, Ryan.
Yes, sir. Go
All right,
Rangers.
Punchlines. Every show live in Nevada.